As you can see here, this massive steel structure was built, custom built for housing this front portion of the airplane, and at least all the way through the cockpit. Now, this steel structure is equipped and capable of being able to hold everything to very strict, tight tolerances, because we need to be able to keep the airframe of the aircraft straight and in good circumference and everything along that lines. As you can see behind me, we have the frame structure, which the skins, the original skins, have all been drilled off and removed, and we have the internal skeleton of the plane in here. Now, the construction of a B-17 is called a semi-monocoque construction, and it's built using mostly aluminum. There's very little steel on board the plane, and that's done to be able to keep things very light, and that made it so that the airplane would be able to handle a heavier capacity for armament. Now, right here next to me, you can see all these little things that kind of look like they're specialized pins or bolts or what have you. And these are called Clecos, C-L-E-C-O-S. They're a temporary metal fastener that you actually have a special wrench that fits over the collar, and you squeeze it and it retracts the internal mechanism and makes it so you can take it in and out. These are utilized in order to be able to hold the skins on or internal structures together so that they don't move around, and that we can fit and test and examine and reinstall different parts and pieces without having to finally rivet them in place. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them that go on this place, or in these, not just in this one place, but in this whole structure. There's thousands of them, and there's several different sizes that we utilize on the whole process. Anyway, each one of these internal components, although they're very lightweight and really kind of flimsy in and of themselves, when they're all riveted together with a proper type of rivets, and that they are considered to be extremely strong and very durable and very lightweight. This airplane was really, for the most part, over-engineered in many ways, but that's what was required for the type of missions that they needed to do, and that's why the planes were so revered, because they were able to take a lot of punishment and come home safely. This area back here is the actual physical cockpit of the plane. And that's where we would have the pilot and the co-pilot, and also just behind, at the end of the steel structure here, would be the area where the top turret gunner would be, and that was often the flight engineer. And so they were housed in this area. We've been working on this section here. It is stripped down. We're getting ready to start building new parts. And unfortunately, we have to recreate a lot of new parts from scratch. We use special materials to build actually what's called a forming block, and then we use very soft aluminum metals called O material metal, and we take it and actually bend it and shape it around these engineered forming blocks that will take it and help us create new pieces and new structures such as these. Now, we're very fortunate that a lot of these pieces are in really quite good shape and will be able to be reutilized throughout the process. Most of our problem occurs within some of the lower portions of the plane, or the belly of the plane, because that's where Oregon's weather was not conducive to the long livelihood of a B-17, or airplanes in general for that matter. The water running down the inside of the plane when it was over the gas station caused an electricity process called electrolysis, and it ends up kind of being like a big battery and eats things away. As well as we had a lot of bird crap that was in there and other things. People actually walked through 7 sets of floorboards on the internal components of the plane, and that led to fatigue on the bottom portion of the plane too. So all those contributing factors led things in the belly of the plane to get eaten up and have a problem. So we're having to replace a lot of that type of structure, but we're able to do it, and it will be just as good as new, if not better, when we're done with it.